Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular scheduled meeting, City Griffin Board of Commissioners, November 23rd, 2021. We're going to begin by Commissioner Ward leading the pledge, followed by Commissioner Truman Tinsley, I, with the invocation. If you'll please join us.
Please raise the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented, make our solutions fair and just in the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you. First item is to approve the agenda as presented. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? Mr. Tinsley with a motion, second by Mr. Brock. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 5-0. Under presentations and delegations, tonight we present a proclamation celebrating Native American Heritage Month, November 2021. Members of the Citizens Diversity Inclusion Council will receive the proclamation. So, good evening and welcome. How can I do well today? Happy Thanksgiving. So proclamation celebrating Native American Heritage Month, whereas the City of Griffin is committed to creating an inclusive community that celebrates diversity and ensures all residents have equitable opportunities to lead healthy, peaceful, safe, and sustainable lives. And whereas during National Native American Heritage Month, we celebrate the rich tapestry of indigenous people and honor their sacrifices, which we recognize as inextricably woven into the history of our country. And whereas Native Americans are descendants of the original indigenous inhabitants of what is now the United States, and whereas Native Americans have moving stories of tragedy, triumph, and perseverance that need to be shared with future generations, and whereas Native Americans have enriched our heritage and continue to add to all aspects of our society through their generosity and culture and the continued practice of teaching economic, environmental, and cultural sustainability. And whereas during the month of November, we honor our Native people in their ancestral homes and recognize their continued contributions in strengthening the diversity of our society. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the City of Griffin Board of Commissioners, does hereby proclaim November 2021 to be Native American Heritage Month and urge all citizens of the City of Griffin to take cognizance in this event and participate in its observation. In witness thereof, I have herein set my hand to cause the seal of the City of Griffin to be affixed this 23rd day of November in the year of our Lord 2021. Signed, Douglas S. Holbrook, Mayor, Jessica W. O'Connor, City Manager. There you go. Thank you.
I just want to thank all of the commissioners. As we said many times before, these are the types of things that we want to do to make sure that we're showing that the city is inclusive of all citizens. And we're very excited about all of the things that we have upcoming next year for 2022 that we put into our strategic goals. So we're looking forward to being able to present those to you as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And happy Thanksgiving. Moving into citizens' comment. At this time, the mayor opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to specific agenda items not listed on the agenda for the public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city commission meetings. Commission serve a purpose of conducting city business are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The mayor reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. With that being said, is there anybody on my left side like to come before the board? Yes, ma'am. If you could please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, greetings to everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Chelsea. Well, most people know me by Chelsea, but My real name is Shalisa Bowen, and I am a citizen here in Griffin and also the owner of Top of Our Funnel Cakes, where we put the fun in funnel cakes. So just a little background first about my business. I moved here in 2019, where I actually purchased my first home. And I just decided I wanted to start entrepreneurship. And this is when I had the grand idea of something that was fun and people would enjoy. And ever since I've started that business, I started off with a simple table and a tent. And I would just, serve my funnel cakes within the city. And it started to really grow. The community was very accepting of it, and it was something different. How often do you get to see funnel cakes? That's probably at a carnival fair. So they were thrilled about the fact that, hey, the funnel cake lady's just down the street, let's go. It really just kind of blew up in the city. I love that I was making a very positive impact on the actual city as well, because my business is not just based on fun and funnel cakes. We also serve within the community, which I think is important to give back to the customers in the city that are putting money into my business. I got the opportunity to purchase a used trailer, and this was a 92 trailer. It was kind of a little older trailer, but I did my darnest to make this thing pop. I cleaned it out. I literally updated it the best that I could. And I wanted to do this business the correct way. And so I started the process of reaching out to City Hall, Economic Development, joining my chamber. I wanted to start making connections. I didn't just want to be a hustler just trying to make a dollar a change. I pay taxes on this every single month, right? This was a new business to me, or the first business that had actually started to see any improvements in, or it was making progress. So I was taking all the necessary precautions to make sure that I was doing things the right way. My biggest issues that I face now, and this was recently, is with the fire department as well as DPH. It's very obvious that the city of Griffin is not really used to food trucks being within the city. And I'm very understanding that there are certain policies that might not be in place or in support of us being here. But there's a very small group of us that are within the food truck industry. And we see how much favor it has from our community. I am at a cross point now where dealing with certain rules and regulations for the fire department, because from my understanding, the chief that came out to me said that someone reported me, and that was because they saw that I was not in regulation. Operation was completely stopped, and I immediately started communicating with that chief about what it is that I need to do immediately to make sure that I was up to code standard. We started that process, and I started communicating with other food trucks that had been approved or had not been bothered, and coming to find out that there's certain things, guidelines that they did not have to abide by or that they didn't have issues with, that I'm realizing now I am dealing with. I think my whole purpose is coming to speak to you guys as commissioners, because you are pillars within your community. I feel as though what goes for one should go for all. If I am going to be summoned to do certain things or have certain policies in place, regulations in place, then it should be that way for everyone. You go up and down 1941, I can tell you at least 3. And I mean, my goal is not to throw anybody on the bus, because ultimately everybody has to make a living, but so do I, right? I can tell you at least 3 different food vendors, they're still out there today. But why is it that it seems for someone that is trying to do things the right way, is building the correct relationships, and is trying to follow code and policies, it seems as though there's a lot more burden put on me for trying to do the things the right way instead of individuals who are doing what they want to do. So I'm bringing my concern to you guys because if they're not able to hear me or even to understand where I'm coming from, maybe I can come to you guys. So
Can I get your address for the record?
it's 1013 Serene Lake Drive, Griffin, Georgia.
So if you could either give your name and number to Ms. O'Connor so that she can reach out to you or staff reach out to you. I know this is an issue that we looked at several years ago. It was, I think, more the debate of brick and mortar versus food trucks. So, but if you could get her your information so staff can follow back up with you and see if there should be some resolutions to make sure that we're consistent with everybody.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I'm the nicest person you'll ever meet.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I just want to keep putting the fun in front of the case. That's all I want to do.
I understand.
You know, and I just want to be able to do that and know that I'm not going to be targeted for doing something wrong.
Did you bring any phone cakes?
Stop.
Thought about it.
But if you get your contact information, Ms. O'Connor, and the meeting should be short tonight.
Okay.
So we can talk afterwards.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Again, this is citizens' comment. Is there anybody else on my left who'd like to come before the board? Anybody on my left? Is there anybody on my right side who'd like to come before the board? Okay. No public hearings tonight. Moving into the consent agenda, we have items 2 through 4 to take as a whole. Do we have a motion to approve? So moved. Mr. Tinsley with a motion, Mr. Rock with a second. All in favor of items 2 through 4 on the consent agenda, please raise your hand. 5-0. Moving into the regular scheduled meeting. Consider minutes of the City of Griffin Board of Commissioners regular meeting on November 9th. I believe Ms. Ward was absent from that.
Ms. Flowers. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Ward, I beg your
Ms. Ward. Mr. McCord with a motion. Second by Mr. Tinsley. All in favor, please signal by raise your hand. 4-0, 1 with Ms. Ward abstaining. Moving on to item 7, consider purchase of the 2012 Mack.
Six.
Yes, six.
I'm sorry. Consider a work order from WOF from RTC Solutions to a previously approved master service agreement, a broker that transferred the 2048 public IP, it's internet protocol, address not to exceed $137,625. Chief Technology Officer Gibb Cotton is here to address. Do we have a motion to approve the work order? Ms. Ward with a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Tinsley with a second. Any questions of Mr. Cotton? All in favor, please signal by raise your hand. 5-0.
Can you explain it to us now? I'm just kidding.
Back to number 7. Consider the purchase, Trevor just wants a phone. Item 7 is consider the purchase of a 2012 Mack CHU 613 tractor trailer with 36,000 miles in the amount of $60,394. Price includes $12,194 for a 4-year extended warranty from Aero Truck Sales Sole Source. Authorize the mayor and the city manager to execute any necessary documents to effect the purchase of same. Authorize a transfer of $16,294 to solid waste operating account from landfill capital surcharge account and amend the budget accordingly. In addition, consider declaring surplus unit number 962, a 2010 Freightliner with 729,510 miles. Mrs. Ward with a motion, Mr. Brock with a second. All in favor, signal by raise your hand. 5-0. Number 8 is consider a task order from Design, Bidding, and Construction Management for the 2021 Community Development Block Grant to Paragon Consulting Group in the amount of $113,900 for the Watershed Management Department. Mrs. Ward with a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Tinsley. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 5-0. And moving into city manager report.
Okay, we are trying to schedule another workshop for redistricting. We've had a couple of different comments and questions come up, and so after talking to Mr. Whalen, we felt like it might be beneficial to have our analytics team. We were trying to coordinate them actually coming in person But since they're sort of located all over the country, we're having a hard time getting a date that somebody can be here. So the question at this point, I'm trying to pull up that email, is whether or not y'all would like to do a workshop on the 14th. And Kate, who has presented to us twice on Zoom, can actually sit here in real time and based on your comments, move stuff around and you can see it as she goes. So she doesn't have to be here to do that. And I think that might even be easier for any constituents that are here to see as well. So if you all would like to do that the morning of the 14th and call a workshop, since we don't have one scheduled, we can do that and then still sort of finalize it that evening as we had planned. And that way have it approved in our 2 January meetings by home rule.
Do we not have a workshop already scheduled for the 14th? Do we not move that up to the 28th?
Well, at the time, we weren't sure that we needed one. So we do have executive session that we can move that morning as well, if y'all are okay with that for personnel.
I'm okay with that.
And
Think
you
it's
guys do
necessary.
that? Okay.
Y'all are good? So the 14th, perfect.
Okay. Secondly, don't forget that we will be closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. So City Hall is closed, but our solid waste department asked that they go ahead and be able to do their regular, collection service on Thursday. So that way they can get off in time to spend a long weekend with their family as well. So we will have regular trash service on Thursday, but everybody else will be closed and off. Next week, we have our Archway Executive Committee retreat. So Mayor Holberg and I will be attending that pretty much all day on Tuesday. Friday is our downtown tree lighting, Friday, December 3rd. So don't forget to come out to that. I think Mr. Walker and the Public Works guys have worked really hard the last couple of days getting everything lit and the wreaths up. So that should be a lot of fun. And then just another reminder, we will have Hometown Connection with our local delegation on December 13th. We're trying to work out a time for that in conjunction with hopefully the school board as well as the county to participate with us so we can just knock it all out, all 3 of us at one time.
That's a Monday.
That's a Monday evening before our Tuesday meeting.
And then have we heard back on the Christmas parade? They were talking about doing that on that December 18th.
I have not. Captain Jones and I met yesterday morning and both of us talked about that and neither one of us have heard from Mr. Scott or anyone wanting to do a Christmas
They
parade.
have applied, just.
They have?
Permit, I saw today.
Okay, there you go.
So we're still looking at December 18th at 10 a.m. That's a Saturday.
I'm looking at that email, I don't remember. the date.
Okay. I think that's when Mr. Scott and the Shriners were looking at, was that Saturday
Yes.
on the revised parade.
December the 18th.
Excellent. Mr. McCord?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thanks to the staff and everybody coming out to diversity and inclusion. Thank you guys for what you're doing. And hopefully we can help this young lady out with the current situation. That's all I can do.
Thank you. Mrs. Ward?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you. Mr. Tinsley?
Happy Thanksgiving and congratulations on your business. So I hope that can help it grow. You do have sugar-free, right?
We're gonna just get extra powder on it.
See, you gotta
He
come.
taking the pine out.
Taking the fun out of fun.
Yes, there you go. Say, you gotta come to him on a cheat day when you're gonna be ready to indulge.
There you go.
We come late, can we get a discount on the old?
Now, listen, you can talk that I can do.
There you go.
That I can do.
Mr. Brock?
No doubt it's good stuff. But I say happy Thanksgiving to everyone and go ahead and say Merry Christmas. It's going to be one of the best Christmas this world's ever seen because we're getting through. I think and I pray that we're getting through with it. The epidemic and everything that's going on in this world. And I hope everything is going to be much, much better for every one of us in 2022.
And happy Thanksgiving and no other business. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So
Got a
moved.
motion, Tinsley, second, Mr. Brock. Y'all have a blessed evening.